Hello, everyone. I'm really excited to do something a little bit different today. I have a special guest. Her name is Andrea,
Hello, hello.
and we've been really busy doing really cool stuff this weekend. So, we've been having a VIP weekend in which I'm helping her fix her stuff because she's been having a hard time doing a lot of things. And it makes a lot of sense because she's got a lot of things to do. You want to tell us a little bit about who you are and what you do?
Yes. Hi, Bev. How are you?
Hi.
I'm Andrea Thomas. I am the founder and owner of Scratch Me Not, and I also help those who are running their own boutique selling physical products. And so I'm a multi business owner, and it sometimes can be a lot to juggle. And so I reached out to Lizette to help me organize, help me figure out what to do this priority. She has her 3Ds of things to do, defer, and I'm still memorizing them.
Delegate
Delegate
or
and
delete.
delete. Yes, yes. And so I reached out to her thinking that it would be like this, dump all my stuff on the plate and then she would help me sift and organize. And little did I know that there was more in store as far as mindset as well as organization because I had tried this on my own on several occasions, tried different planners, different strategies and tactics on how to organize everything. So I figured I would reach out to Dr. Lizette to give me more insight.
Yeah, so she's amazing. She's an architect by training, and she's built this amazing business called Scratch Me Not, which helps kids who are struggling with eczema.
Mhm.
Because it came from like your own personal experience with that, right?
Yes, yes.
And so I just love that. I love how women are out there taking their experiences and their expertise and their brilliance, right? She had the personal experience and she also had that architecture background. And with that, she created this amazing business. And then she also has a couple other businesses. Um,
Yes.
and then, last but not least, you have how many kids?
I have 5 kids.
5 kids. Isn't that
Yes.
amazing? Like, somebody give us some likes because this woman is so amazing. She does so much. And, it makes a lot of sense why it became like a lot to be able
Mhm.
to do all these things because, correct me if I'm wrong, but you've kind of felt yourself feeling like if you gave to one area, another important area of your life would have to suffer.
Yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. The balance of
Thank you for the heart. Thank you for the heart.
the balance of kids and homeschooling and
Yeah.
running the businesses and so on. There's like I have people who can help me,
Hmm.
but there's still a lot on my plate as far as mapping out where things are going and being the CEO of the business, and then
Hmm.
also removing myself from being the employee of my business as well. And so I didn't really realize how much I was doing until you made me slow down.
Yeah, I'm known as someone who gives you tough love, like a loving shove, like
A
snap
loving
out of it.
shove. Yes,
Is one of the
yes.
things that we did this weekend is we started off by figuring out what is it you want.
Mm-hmm.
What's this big picture that you want in these important areas of your life? Considering the current season that you're in and your current situation without comparing yourself to other people who don't have your circumstances. You don't see a lot of people out there who have multiple businesses and multiple kids,
Yes, that's
right?
very
And so
true.
you were being really unfair to yourself, expecting yourself to have this certain level of success and not really respecting where you are right now, right?
Yeah, yeah. That's hard to do
I
because my
know.
my world is online. So
Yeah.
it's easy to see other people's successes and make assumptions. And then parallel, like look at my success, look at their success, look how long they've been in business versus me. Having people tell me where I should be by now versus where I am,
Hmm.
and then looking at my little ones, thinking I don't want to miss pivotal seasons of their
Yeah.
world,
Yeah.
trying to be the mogul of businesses.
Yeah. So if you could have multiplied yourself,
Yes, I would have done
right?
it.
But we all know that you only have 24 hours in a day and you have to be really careful with how you're spending that time. You could always make more money, but you can never have more time, especially when you have little kids in their key developmental ages, right? 5 and under, it's really important. That's when we're molding them into who they're going to become as adults. And so for you, it's really important that you fulfill your ambitious needs, your ambitious drive with your business, something that you had created from scratch,
Yes,
literally
yes.
into scratch me not, and help others make an impact, and also, take it to the next level, but without having to sacrifice your family, your kids, and even yourself,
Yes.
right? Let's talk about that for a
Yes.
second.
Uh-oh. Which part? Because you laid out a lot there.
I know, I laid out a lot.
Yes.
So you felt like you had to divide your time between your multiple businesses and your multiple kids, right?
Yes.
Where were you in the picture?
I wasn't.
Mm-hmm.
I wasn't on purpose, but so I thought. So since I'm juggling so much, balancing so much, whatever you want to call it, it was easier to put me to the side because everyone else's needs were more priority in my mind. So because if I don't do XYZ externally, I can visually see those things failing. But for me, it's easier to sweep it under the rug and just keep going because I'm always with me. So I kind of have a pulse of how I'm doing. And I know when I'm about to hit a brick wall and burn. And I know typically how long it takes for me to recoup, which isn't healthy.
No, it's not. And, it's not uncommon for a lot of women to put others first, like give it your 100% in your career or business, give it 100% to your kids, right? Because that's part of our DNA to be those nurturers. And some of us, take it to a point where we forget about ourselves. And it's not until we experience some kind of crisis or some kind of burnout and things like that that we're like, we have no option but to take care of ourselves. And so my goal is to help you feel comfortable with paying attention to yourself and putting your work and your kids aside every once in a while so that you can fill your bucket. Because we know that if your bucket is empty, there is no way that you can show up at your best with what you want to do most.
Yeah, definitely. I think that was a little realization is because one, I'm not human design. I'm just not meant to be 100% one thing. So how do I balance all that without feeling the mom guilt, without feeling like, I guess the wife guilt and the business guilt and, because I can't do all the things all the time. So what do I place priority and when? That was the biggest thing of figuring out what to do.
Yes. And so when we were clear on what really mattered most to you, we were able to sit down and look at all the things that you're doing and determine whether this aligned with those things or not.
Yeah.
And what was that like for you?
Oh, that was painful. Because I thought some of the things that I was doing only I could do. Because I already know how to delegate. I already know how to, use my VAs and use, people that I hired to help me out. But I was still harboring some of those things that I could have delegated, but felt like it was only for me. But then when you maybe put dollar signs next to them, that was when I was realizing how much money I'm leaving on the table, how much I am letting slip through the cracks, and how much I'm undervaluing my team. So that was a big realization.
So to kind of explain that a little bit more, so not only did we identify all the things that she's doing and determine whether or not they align with a bigger picture in the things that matter to her most, among the things that she was doing, we determined how much value it had. So like if you think about the 80-20 principle and you think, okay, how is doing this thing, like maybe taking a course, is this really something that's going to take me to the next level with the goal that I'm striving for? Or what about taking my kids to gymnastics without bringing my laptop?
Yes.
Is it really worth me getting a little bit of extra work done, sending an email, being on my phone, when she's going to look up and say, Mommy, like, she's never really paying attention to me.
Yeah.
So you have to weigh the pros and cons of everything you do and ask yourself, is this activity worth it right now? What am I sacrificing?
Yes. That was a hard one because
Mhm.
I'm the queen of multitasking, though
Yeah.
so I thought, until I realized I was pairing the wrong things together. And
Mm-hmm.
so and even if someone else points out to me that it's not quite right, it's like, well, you don't have my life, like you only have one child, or you have one
Mm-hmm.
business, or so you don't really know how to juggle it all.
Yeah.
So hearing the different perspectives was what clued me in of, okay, there has to be a time when I'm fully checked out of work and nothing can interrupt that, and there has to be a time when I'm fully checked in where my life can't interrupt that. So that
Yes.
was that was eye opening because I always merge them into one big pot.
And what happens when you merge them into one big pot all the time? There are times when you can,
Yes.
but with certain things you cannot because it requires more concentration,
Yeah.
or it's a special occasion with your children and you don't want to bring work into the mix because those are memories that they're creating.
Yeah. There's memories that they're creating, and there's memories that I'm creating with them as well. And like, don't get me wrong, I have like 100% time with kids where I'm focused on them, but there's areas where I thought I could merge that I didn't realize I shouldn't be, or I didn't have to, and I thought I had to, because work hours, I thought I'd be on all the time, but I create my own schedule.
Yeah.
And so with that flexibility, with that, I need to, I guess, prioritize and, you say, respect my own time.
Yeah, see, and that was a big one. So it's a lot of people want to have control over their time, but it's kind of like a blessing and a curse because you are responsible for what happens there. You don't have anybody telling you what to do, but it could get really easy to get lost in you wearing your executive hat.
Yes, yes, yes. It's yeah. Especially because I have gotten so used to the chaos that, because 5 kids is loud, working businesses, they're helping me, I'm helping them with homework and homeschooling, and so after a while it becomes a way of living. And so this has allowed me to take a step and say, okay, you do have a lot on your plate, but let's not get to the point to where you feel like this is normal and this is how it has to be.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness. You know what? You have no idea like how many high achieving women who have kids and are trying to advance in their career or business and do more with the gifts that they have inside of them, they feel like this is just how it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
That once you have kids, you're supposed to sacrifice this ambitious side of you. And if you don't, there's something wrong with you.
Yeah. Yes. 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 And that's not necessarily vocalized, it's indirect.
Yeah.
It's indirect, and it's like one of those, because I do have those moments where I'm like, ooh, I should be like 100% all mom. I should forego the businesses and I should just focus on them during this pivotal age. But one of the things that I was very clear about is that I want them to understand and see the entrepreneurial journey. So that, because it's easy to know what a traditional lifestyle would be with a 9 to 5 and 2 working parents, or 1 working parent and 1 staying at home. But what if they want to go off and venture and create their own thing? They at least now have a blueprint, and a successful blueprint to take them along the way of, okay, so when I do have kids, mom made sure she took out this time to be 100% focused and focus on us, versus laptop plus this plus cell phone plus. And I appreciate that. It took a little bit. It took a little bit to kind of slow down enough. It took a lot bit.
Yeah. And it's like this weekend you've had to yourself.
Yes.
What was that like for you? To step away from life, husband, kids.
Yes.
What was that like for you?
It is. It was. It is. I don't. Okay, one word comes to mind, and that's sleep.
Oh.
That is sleep. Lizette made me take a nap, and that's abnormal for me. Like to sleep or to take a nap. So put those two together, that makes any weekend abnormal. And then the freedom to know that the kids are being taken care of and they're good, and I get to work on my business and simplify it. because it was getting more complicated than what it needed to be.
Yes. And did you feel any guilt about stepping away from your kids and family?
Um, not a lot.
Mm-hmm.
Not a lot, because we were really open about what's happening, where am I going. They can call
Mm-hmm.
me anytime. But there
Mm-hmm.
are those moments where, a little one is crying because
Mm-hmm.
they're used to me being home and nearby, and
Yeah.
so I still have to juggle those, and I don't think those emotions are going to disappear. But I know how to manage them and how to let them say, okay, mommy needs time alone. Like, you get to go
Mm-hmm.
visit your grandparents, you get to go have your time at school, and I'm not necessarily with you. Like, I
Mm-hmm.
miss you and I love you still yet. So mommy needs those times too. And so
Mm-hmm.
I don't do that enough, but I am making it more of a
Mm-hmm.
quarterly type thing of get
Yeah,
away
yeah.
and recoup and just be me.
Yeah, because a couple months ago, you went to a hotel by yourself.
I did.
What?
I did. And I loved every moment of it. Because it's a great opportunity for my
Mm-hmm.
husband to get a sense of what it's like to balance it all.
Mm-hmm.
And then of course we swap, so where he gets a time to go
Yes.
away, and I'm there
Yes.
holding down the fort. So I think I'm so used to loving on others, giving them what they need, and if my husband needs
Mm-hmm.
to go away, that's cool. I got the family. If the kids need to go to camp or need to go, to their classes, I have everything they need. But when it comes to me, it's like, I don't need this. I don't need this. So
But
yeah,
I mean, you really did need it.
I did. I did, and it's like a. I didn't realize it until you said some key things like this all will make me cry. But you gave me some key things of, okay,
Mm-hmm.
this is why it's important. Like if you keep giving and you don't replenish, how are you going to show up your best for your family and for your businesses? And so
Mm-hmm.
that really hit home.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And so, while it might be hard to get away, you have to think about, if I say yes to this, what am I saying yes to that I want more of because of it?
Mm-hmm.
So, as a result of you saying yes to yourself this weekend, when you went to go have a staycation for yourself, how do you think that makes you a better version of you in all the areas that matter most to you?
I I come back with a plan. I come back with ways to delete stuff that I was doing that I didn't need to, which gives me more time with the family. I come back refreshed and I don't know, like not necessarily happier because I'm always pretty happy,
Hmm.
but fulfilled.
Hmm.
Like there's a part of my brain that has to be tied into business. Like I just enjoy that aspect of me and I want to keep growing it and learning it. But there's also a side of me that's like the mom and the wife and the nurturer and we have family goals we want to attend to. So it gives me a chance to focus on business so that we can achieve some of those family goals as well.
Yeah. So you don't have to choose one over the other,
No,
right?
no.
That you have to get clear on what are your priorities, do you really want, what's your big vision for your professional side, for your personal side, and
Mm-hmm.
for your family side.
Yeah, yeah.
And while you may have several things that you want to do, you can't do all of it all at the same time, all very well. So sit down with yourself, right? Or have somebody sit down with you to help you figure out what are your priorities in these different areas that matter most to you.
Yeah.
And as you fulfill those, then you can move on to the other things. Rather than doing everything half well, pick a few things where you can that matter to you most and that are the most achievable for you now. And then after that, figure out what's getting in your way from being able to do that. Because that's something that we had talked about quite a bit. Like, okay, this is the plan, this is what you're going to do. But though you wanted to do that, there was something holding you back.
Yeah. Yeah. That was like part of, I guess, the mindset
Yeah.
that I had some preconceived notions about where my business was going and how I was going to get there or how I was not going to get there. And so that explains why when I tried to get the new planner and I tried to get the new tactics, it wasn't really working. It would work for a good 2 weeks and then it'll kind of fall off. So
it's just a Band-Aid.
Yeah.
Until you get into the core reason why it's a struggle for you in the first place, it's just tactics. You're just going to keep replacing it with something else.
Yeah.
And it's not going to work. So she came in thinking that we just had to like sit down and organize her life.
Yes.
But we realized that it was a lot more than that.
Yeah. And that was good because when she told me that it was a Band-Aid, that's when I was like, you're right. Like I knew it was because it wasn't working so much. So after a while, the Band-Aid keeps coming off. It's like, that's not really the problem. Mm-hmm. But what else do you do?
Yeah.
So what else? All I knew was dump everything out, put it in a planner, and then execute. But that wasn't working. So reach out to you.
Yeah. And so once we got clear on your priorities and figured out what's in your way from honoring that.
Yeah.
And taking better care of yourself, spending time on yourself without feeling guilty.
Yeah. Yeah.
And taking the risks that you need to take your business to the next level as well.
Yeah. Hey, Faye.
Hi. And then after we figured out what's getting in your way and work through those things, we figured out, okay, now we can sit down and map out the plan.
Yeah. And now it's executable because I don't have those blocks.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah. Yes, I did come in here. It's time.
Yeah, you've gone through a lot of changes.
Yes, it's freeing.
Yeah. And so what would you say to a high-achieving woman out there who has kids and who also has this ambitious professional side of them in which they want to fuel more. They don't want to stay where they're at. There's more of them to give. There's more of them to do, more lives to touch, because your business, Scratch Me Not, is changing lives.
Yes, it is. Yes. And that's, I would say, I mean, this journey is, the business is an extension of myself.
Where'd you get that from? I say that. Did I say that to you before?
I don't know, but it's true. The business is an extension of myself.
Yes.
And so whatever flaws I have eventually comes out in the different businesses, in my family, so the root is me. And until I figure out what that is, that void or that issue or that concern is going to continue arising in different forms. And so the great news is there's I was still able to be successful with it, but just think of how much more successful I can be now that I can relinquish that. So,
Yeah. And so, you have a couple of options. Stay where you're at and not be at your best, not fulfill your full potential, not feel as satisfied and invigorated and energized. And excited to wake up every morning to another day. It's not to say that every day is like that. Of course not.
Yeah.
I'm not going to sit here and lie to you that I have amazing days every day. I don't. But you can decide to keep living a mediocre life according to your definition. You can decide to just stay stagnant and stable and just kind of like going with the flow. Or you can decide, you know what? I don't feel alive. I don't feel like I'm complete. Something is missing. I'm showing up in life, not myself. So there's a part of me that's dying inside and I don't know why. And I'm trying to do all these things and I feel like I have to sacrifice one for the other and something's got to give. But the truth is it doesn't have to. You can decide that you want your cake and eat it too, right? You can decide that when you get really clear on what you want and focus on those things that are going to get you there, you will realize that you can have a thriving career and business, as well as a happy, healthy family and time for yourself as well.
Yes, I agree.
But the thing I want to emphasize most is that you're not born knowing how to do that. What do you think?
I think no. I think some of that is, yeah. Some of it can come naturally,
Mm-hmm.
but some of it, I mean, because it's an extension of yourself. So at some
Mm-hmm.
point in time, you're going to hit some kind of roadblock, and it's
Yeah.
like, how do you navigate through it? Because whatever we were doing previously wasn't working.
Hi.
Hey.
Yeah, so you're not born knowing how to do this. You're not expected to get it right. Um, and so you get to decide, is this what you want your reality to look like for the rest of your life, potentially, or at least until the kids are out of the house? Do you want to put your life on hold until then? I mean, what do you think?
No, and that's why it was imperative that we talk now, because
Mm-hmm.
I know I have a limited amount of time with my children at home, and there's some things that I want to
Yeah.
accomplish while they're here with me, and
Mm-hmm.
so um, that was one of my fears of what if I don't hit my milestones until they all graduate, and then they'll look back and be like, wow, that looks great, mom, but we didn't get a chance to experience it, and that's,
Uh-huh.
yeah. So I was like, let's get to the bottom of that.
Yeah.
Let's fix, let's whatever is not necessarily fixed, but whatever is off or not aligned, we need to get
Mm-hmm.
that back on track.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Yeah. So I want to invite you to really take a look at your life and ask yourself, is this okay? Am I content with where I'm at, or do I want more? Because if you want more, then I invite you to do something about it. And if that's something that you're ready to do, I invite you to reach out to me and we can talk, and see how I can support you with that. It does not have to stay this way. You don't have to continue on this path of feeling like you have to sacrifice certain things, for others. You don't have to sacrifice a thriving, career or business for yourself or for your family.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all about helping you advance professionally without sacrificing your sanity or your family. So if that's something you're interested in, definitely reach out and we can talk. So I'm excited for you.
I am too. Definitely reach out to Lizette, because it's one thing talking to someone, but I knew that she had the psychology background, and I knew it was like, if there's something in me that needs to be tweaked mentally, then as well as organizationally, as well as propelling me forward, then she was a person. So I definitely invite you to get on one of her 15-minute calls to hash out a few thoughts that you're pondering, or you're wondering, or you maybe you're thinking, is this normal? Is this
Yeah.
fixable? And then just see where that takes you.
That's awesome. Okay, I'm so excited. Thank you for being here. It was a pleasure working with you this
Thank you
weekend.
for having me.
And I look forward to seeing what's next for you.
Me too. Me too. I'll keep you posted.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye.